Why 99% of entrepreneurs fail and the 1% don't. Have you ever wondered why so many people dream of starting a business, but only a tiny percentage actually succeed? Think about it. Imagine spending years chasing your dream. You wake up before sunner than everyone around you. You skip vacations. You invest your savings. You tell yourself, one day, this will all be worth it. But then months turn into years. The business struggles, bills keep coming, stress keeps growing, and eventually you find yourself asking, what went wrong? Now picture someone else. They didn't come from a wealthy family, they didn't have millions to invest, they weren't the smartest person in the room, yet somehow they built a business that completely changed their life. So what's the difference? Is it luck? Is it talent? Or do successful entrepreneurs know something that most people never discover? Here's the surprising truth. The biggest reason businesses fail has very little to do with money. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why 99% of entrepreneurs quit, while the remaining 1% keep building businesses worth millions. Because one simple shift in thinking can completely change your future. So let's dive in. Here's the first mistake. Most people believe business is all about making money. Sounds obvious, right? After all, isn't that why people start businesses? But here's the interesting part. The most successful entrepreneurs don't wake up asking, how can I make more money today? Instead, they ask, what problem can I solve today? That single question changes everything. Just think about your own life. Why do you order food online? Because you're hungry. Why do you use your smartphone every single day? Because it makes life easier. Why do millions of people shop online? Because it saves time. Every successful business exists for one reason. It solves a problem. And here's the opportunity. The bigger the problem, the bigger the business opportunity. Yet most people spend perfect business idea. Meanwhile, the best opportunities are sitting right in front of them. Sometimes success isn't about inventing something new. It's simply about making something faster, easier, cheaper, or better. Successful entrepreneurs don't chase money, they chase value, and money follows value. Now let's talk about another mistake that quietly destroys dreams: waiting for the perfect time. Have you ever caught yourself saying, I'll start next year, I need more experience, I need more money, I'll do it when I finally feel ready? Here's the truth. Almost nobody feels ready. Not at the beginning. Your first customer feels terrifying. Your first sale feels impossible. Your first failure hurts. But every successful entrepreneur has one thing in common. They started anyway, because action creates confidence. Waiting creates fear. Think about learning to swim. Could you become an expert just by reading books? Of course not. Eventually, you have to jump into the water. Business works exactly the same way. You learn by doing. Every mistake teaches something. Every customer teaches a lesson. Every challenge makes you stronger. Progress doesn't come from planning forever, it comes from taking action. Now, here's another trap that destroys more dreams than most people realize: expecting success to happen fast. And honestly, can you blame them? Every day, social media is filled with stories like, this entrepreneur became a millionaire overnight. This startup made millions in just 1 year. It sounds incredible, but here's the question. What don't you see? You don't see the years of hard work, the failures, the sleepless nights, the rejection, the moments when nobody believed in them. That's the part most people never talk about. The truth is, real success usually looks boring. It looks like waking up every morning, showing up, doing the work, getting a little better, making mistakes, learning from them, then repeating the process again and again. Think about planting a tree. Would you expect fruit the next day? Of course not. First the roots grow, then the trunk, then the branches. Only after time do the fruits appear. Business works the same way. The strongest businesses grow slowly because they build strong foundations first. Sadly, um, most people quit before their roots have a chance to grow. Then years later, they look at someone else's success and call it luck. But it wasn't luck, it was patience. Now let me ask you something. When was the last time you learned something new? Because one habit almost every successful entrepreneur shares is that they never stop learning. The world changes every single day. Technology changes, customers change, markets change, competition changes. So if everything around you keeps changing, shouldn't you change too? Successful entrepreneurs stay curious. They read books, they listen to podcasts, they study successful companies, they ask questions, they observe, and most importantly, what? They never believe they know everything. Because the moment you think you've learned enough, you stop growing. Knowledge is one investment nobody can ever take away from you. The more you learn, the better your decisions become. Better decisions create better results, and better results create bigger opportunities. Now, here's another lesson many people learn far too late. Stop trying to do everything alone. Some people think asking for help makes them look weak, but the opposite is true. The smartest entrepreneurs know they don't have all the answers. They ask questions, they find mentors, they build great teams, and they hire people who are better than they are in certain areas. Think about building a house. Could one person do everything? Maybe, but it would take years. Now imagine working with architects, builders, electricians, and engineers. Everything becomes faster. Everything becomes better. Business works exactly the same way. Learning from people who've already succeeded can save you years of expensive mistakes. Now let's talk about something almost everyone fears: failure. Nobody enjoys failing. Nobody likes hearing the word no. Nobody wants to lose money. But here's a different way to think about it. What if failure isn't the opposite of success? What if it's actually part of success? Every successful entrepreneur has failed. Some lost thousands of dollars. Some built businesses that nobody wanted. Some were rejected hundreds of times before hearing their first yes, but they kept going because failure isn't proof that you're not good enough. It's feedback. Every mistake teaches you something. Every setback makes you wiser. Every failure moves you one step closer to success. The only real failure is quitting before you've learned the lesson. Many of today's biggest companies were once just one step away from disappearing. If their founders had given up after the first setback, those companies wouldn't exist today. The difference wasn't intelligence, it wasn't talent, it was persistence. When life became difficult, they adapted, they improved, and they kept moving forward. Because success isn't about avoiding problems, it's about solving one problem after another. And that's exactly what entrepreneurs do every single day. They don't wait for an easy journey. They become stronger because of the challenges they face. And maybe, just maybe, the biggest difference between the 99% who fail and the 1% who succeed is simply this: they refuse to quit. So now the question is, which group will you choose? The 99% who give up or the 1% who keep moving forward? Let me ask you something. What's the most valuable thing you own? Most people would probably say money, but they're wrong. Money can be lost and earned again. Time can't. Once it's gone forever. Successful entrepreneurs understand this better than anyone. That's why they don't waste hours on things that don't matter. They plan their day. They focus on the tasks that create the biggest results because they know something most people don't. Being busy isn't the same as being productive. Think about it. You can spend an entire day answering emails, scrolling through social media, or attending unnecessary meetings. At the end of the day, you've been busy. But have you actually moved closer to your goals? Probably not. 1 hour of focused work can accomplish more than an entire day of distractions. Now, here's another habit that separates winners from everyone else: consistency. Have you ever said, "I'll start tomorrow," or "I don't feel motivated today"? We've all been there. But successful entrepreneurs don't wait to feel motivated. They rely on discipline because motivation comes and goes. Discipline stays. Some mornings you'll wake up excited. Other mornings you won't want to do anything. The people who succeed keep showing up anyway. Imagine improving by just 1% every single day. It doesn't sound impressive, but after months, those tiny improvements become extraordinary. Success isn't built in a single day, it's built one day at a time. Now let's talk about risk. Most people think successful entrepreneurs are fearless. That's not true. They're afraid too. The difference is they take smart risks. Notice the word smart. They don't gamble everything they own. They study the opportunity, they gather information, they prepare, then they make a decision. Because here's the reality: every path involves risk. Starting a business is risky, but never starting one can be just as risky. The goal isn't to eliminate risk. The goal is to understand it and make better decisions. Fear will always be there. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's moving forward despite it. Now let's talk about money. When you picture a successful entrepreneur, what comes to mind? Luxury cars, expensive watches, designer clothes. That's what social media often shows. But reality is very different. Before successful entrepreneurs spend money on luxury, they invest. They invest in learning, better tools, marketing, hiring talented people, because they understand one powerful principle. Assets put money into your pocket, liabilities take money out. The more assets they build, the stronger their financial future becomes. That's one of the biggest differences between wealthy entrepreneurs and everyone else. Now, here's something even more valuable than money: trust. Think about the brands you buy from again and again. Why do you choose them? Because you trust them. People don't just buy products, they buy confidence. Trust is earned by being honest, keeping your promises, delivering quality, and treating people with respect. One happy customer can bring you 10 more. One unhappy customer can drive 10 away. Your reputation is one of your greatest business assets. Protect it. Now let's talk about relationships. No successful entrepreneur reaches the top alone. Behind every successful business, there are customers, partners, employees, mentors, supporters. Every relationship matters. So be kind, be respectful, listen more than you speak, help people whenever you can, because sometimes one conversation can completely change your future. Now here's another lesson: learn to adapt. The business world never stands still. Technology changes, customer needs change, new competitors appear every day. The businesses that refuse to change eventually disappear. The businesses that adapt continue to grow. Think of business like sailing a boat. You can't control the wind, but you can adjust the sails. Successful entrepreneurs don't complain about change. They adjust, they learn, and they keep moving forward. Now let's talk about patience. Everyone wants fast success, fast money, fast growth, but lasting success rarely happens overnight. Building a respected business is not a sprint, it's a marathon. Some months will be slow, some seasons will test you. There will be moments when you wonder, is this even worth it? Those moments don't mean you're failing, they mean you're growing. The entrepreneurs who stay patient often become the people everyone admires years later. Here's one final secret: business grows when the owner grows. Want a better business? Become a better leader, a better communicator, a better decision maker, a better learner. Because your biggest competition isn't another entrepreneur, it's the person you were yesterday. Every single day, you have another chance to become a little smarter, a little stronger, a little more disciplined, and over time, those small improvements create extraordinary results. Now let's go back to the question we asked at the beginning. Why do 99% of entrepreneurs fail, while only a few succeed? It's not because they were born different. It's not because they got lucky. And it's definitely not because they had unlimited money. The difference lies in their daily choices. They solve problems instead of chasing money. They start before everything is perfect. They keep learning. They stay consistent. They protect their time. They build trust. They take smart risks. They adapt to change. And most importantly, they refuse to quit after the first setback. These habits sound simple, but simple doesn't mean easy. Most people know what they should do. Very few people actually do it every single day. And that's why success belongs to those who stay committed. Remember this: every successful entrepreneur was once a beginner. They had doubts, they made mistakes, they faced rejection, but they kept moving forward. Your life won't change overnight. It will change, one decision at a time. Maybe today is the day you learn a new skill. Maybe today is the day you finally start that business idea you've been putting off. Or maybe today is simply the day you decide to believe in yourself. Whatever your next step is, don't wait for the perfect moment, because the perfect moment rarely comes. Start with what you have. Learn as you go. Keep improving. One day, you'll look back and realize the small decision you made today changed your entire life. If you enjoyed this video and found it valuable, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss future videos about business, money, and building a successful life. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.